There comes a moment in every life, quiet, almost invisible, when a man or woman stands at the threshold of themselves. A moment not marked by fireworks or fanfare, but by something far deeper, a confrontation between who you are and who you could be. That moment is not on a calendar. It doesn't wait for New Year's Day or Monday morning. It happens the first time you whisper to yourself, "I've had enough of this version of me." And that whisper, it's sacred. It's not loud. It's not showy. But it is the beginning of transformation. Because change doesn't start when you say yes to something new. It starts when you finally say no to the old you. The lazy you. The reactive you. The excuse-making, comfort-chasing, habit-bound version of you that's been running the show for too long. That's the version that keeps you stuck. And until you learn to look that version in the eye and say, "You're done here," you'll keep living on repeat. Growth isn't about adding more. It's about subtracting the things that no longer serve the future you want. And to do that, you have to practice the most powerful discipline of all, the discipline of letting go. We love to talk about adding more goals, more productivity, more ambition. But the real power? It's in the refusal. The refusal to settle. The refusal to indulge old patterns. The refusal to let yesterday define tomorrow. You want a better life? Then draw a line. Not in the sand. In your soul. And on one side of that line lives who you used to be. On the other, who you were born to become. But be warned, the old you will not go quietly. He will beg. She will bargain. They'll say things like, "Just one more time, you've earned a break, you'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow. The oldest lie in the book. Tomorrow is where dreams go to die. Tomorrow is the land of the undisciplined. The graveyard of potential. You don't build a new life tomorrow. You build it today. One choice at a time. One no at a time. No to sleeping in when you said you'd rise early. No to scrolling your life away when you promised yourself progress. No to cheap dopamine when your soul is starving for real achievement. No to the people, places, and patterns that belong to a chapter you've outgrown. This is not about deprivation. It's about liberation. Every no to the old you is a yes to something greater, your integrity, your vision, your strength. Because discipline is not punishment. It's self-respect. Somewhere along the way, we bought into this soft version of self-development. One that says, be kind to yourself, when what you really need is to demand more from yourself. One that says, you're enough as you are, when deep down you know, you're capable of so much more. Now, don't confuse this with self-loathing. This isn't about shame. It's about standards. Standards that say, I will not live one more day as half of what I could be. If your current habits don't align with the future you say you want, you don't have a discipline problem, you have an identity problem. You're still identifying with the old version. The one who skips the gym. The one who procrastinates. The one who talks big dreams but lives small habits. And until you kill that version, metaphorically, you'll keep betraying the version you're trying to build. You must become loyal to your future, not your past. There's an ancient story. A general leads his army to an enemy shore. As they land, he orders the ships to be burned. Confused, the soldiers ask, what if we need to retreat? The general responds, we won't. We either win or we die here. No escape plan. No back door. Only forward. That is what it means to say no to the old you. It means burning the ships. The mental ones. The emotional ones. The habits that keep you anchored to the same damn place year after year. You burn them so there's no turning back. Comfort is not your friend. Comfort is the silent assassin of greatness. Every time you choose ease over effort, comfort over challenge, you make a small trade. And those trades add up. Eventually, you wake up in a life you don't recognize, mediocre, unfulfilled, and wondering how it all slipped away. But if you want to rise, truly rise, you have to stop negotiating with the part of you that only wants what's easy. You have to stop letting the voice of your feelings override the voice of your future. Discipline doesn't always feel good. Neither does saying no. But they always build good. Over time. Quietly. Powerfully. Day after day. Your future is not a matter of fate. It is a matter of philosophy. Jim Rohn said, if you don't like how things are, change it. You're not a tree. Think about that. You're not stuck. You're not rooted. You are not some passive object waiting for the weather to change. You are a conscious, thinking, capable human being with the ability to redirect the course of your life. But only if you stop saying yes to the very things that keep you stuck. Want to know the truth? The biggest threat to your future is not failure. It's familiarity. We are creatures of habit. And the old you, the one you're trying to outgrow, has roots in your nervous system. In your choices. In your patterns. That version of you is comfortable. And comfort does not create kings. If you want change, you must disrupt comfort. You must say, this is not who I choose to be anymore. And then follow it up with action. Relentless, disciplined, unsexy action. People ask, how do I become successful? It's not complicated. It's consistent subtraction. Subtract the lies. Subtract the laziness. Subtract the need to feel good before you do good. Subtract the distractions. Subtract the people who drain you. Subtract the belief that your past gets to define your potential. Because transformation is not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. Repeatedly. Without apology. And those right things usually start with a no. No, I won't stay out late when I said I'd wake up early. No, I won't break my word to myself again. No, I won't keep pretending I'm okay with average. No, I won't keep tolerating habits that rob my future. This is war. A war within. And every time you say no to the old you, you win a small battle. Stack enough of those wins? You'll look back and realize you built a life no one can take from you. Not because you got lucky. Not because you were born with it. But because you earned it. With sweat. With clarity. With 1,000 unseen acts of discipline. And here's something most people never admit out loud. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your habits. Everyone wants the result, but very few are willing to kill the version of themselves that's incompatible with that result. That's the real cost. The old you doesn't get to come on the journey to the life you want. He stays behind. She stays buried. That version dies so the new one can be born. There is no resurrection without crucifixion. You want a new life? Then something in you has to die. Complacency, victimhood, laziness, blaming, waiting. Kill it. Because you cannot carry both your potential and your excuses at the same time. You must drop one to rise with the other. And here's where the work gets lonely. No one can do it for you. Yes, people can support you. Books can guide you. Mentors can inspire you. But in the end, no one can wake up with your discipline. No one can say no to your distractions. No one can live your values for you. That's yours to carry. Responsibility is heavy, but so is regret. Pick your burden. Because life will make you carry weight. You either carry the pain of discipline or the pain of disappointment. There's no escaping the burden. Only choosing which one builds you. And the moment you truly take ownership, not pretend, not talk about it, but truly own it, your whole world changes. Because now, you stop blaming. You stop waiting. You stop hoping that something outside of you will save you. You stop outsourcing your power. And in that moment, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your life. Let me tell you something that may sting a bit. If your life feels stuck, small, or stagnant, it's not because life is unfair. It's because, somewhere along the way, you settled. You accepted less than your best. You tolerated habits that felt good but cost you everything. You lowered your standards to match your environment instead of raising your standards to transform it. But just because you settled then doesn't mean you have to keep settling now. Every moment is a vote. Every choice is a signature. Every action is a declaration of who you are and who you are becoming. And if you want to become someone extraordinary, then you must start treating your time, your values, and your habits with extraordinary respect. Stop treating your goals like they're optional. Stop negotiating with your own mediocrity. Stop playing small and calling it humility. There's nothing noble about hiding your potential. Show up. Fully. Not just once. Not just when you feel like it. Daily. Like it's your job. Like your life depends on it, because it does. You don't drift into greatness. You design it. You don't stumble into self-mastery. You build it, one choice, one action, one disciplined refusal at a time. And if you're waiting for the right moment, let me tell you, it already passed. The right moment was yesterday. The next best moment is now. Now is where the change happens. Not next month. Not when life slows down. Not after the holidays. Now. Now is where you decide what kind of person you're going to be. Now is where you look the old you in the eye and say, you don't run things here anymore. That version of you, the tired, distracted, overthinking, always starting but never finishing version, that version was necessary to survive. But it is not enough to thrive. So let it go. Thank it for getting you this far, and then leave it behind. There is a stronger, wiser, sharper version of you waiting on the other side of that decision. But you will never meet them by staying loyal to your lesser self. You must become disloyal to your limitations. Think of the people you admire. The ones who live with strength, clarity, presence. Do you think they became that way by chance? By comfort? No. They suffered through their own evolution. They faced their own darkness. They said no to the version of themselves that would have ruined them. They made sacrifices you'll never see. They fought battles you'll never hear about. But you see the outcome, and you admire it. Well, here's your reminder, you are just as capable. But you must be just as committed. That's the part no one likes to talk about. It's not glamorous. It's not easy. But it is the truth. You want to change your life? Then earn it. Wake up earlier. Think deeper. Move with purpose. Speak with conviction. Hold yourself to a higher standard when no one's watching. Live like someone whose future is watching their every move, because it is. And no, you won't feel like it every day. But do it anyway. You won't always be motivated. So be disciplined instead. You'll want to quit 1,000 times. But every time you don't, you sharpen something eternal in yourself. You don't just build a better life through this process. You build a better you. Because who you become in the process of transformation is always more valuable than what you get. The world is full of people chasing results. Be the rare one who chases refinement. Who you are becoming is the real reward. And becoming that person begins with a single, powerful decision. To say no to the old you. No more delays. No more double lives. No more saying one thing and living another. It ends today. Burn the old scripts. Burn the excuses. Burn the versions of you that were built in survival, not in vision. And rise, not because it's easy, but because it's time. And when the dust settles, when the feelings fade, when no one's watching and no one's applauding, and it's just you and the mirror, what will you see? Because in that moment, the world doesn't matter. Your followers don't matter. Your status doesn't matter. What matters is whether you recognize the person looking back at you. What matters is whether that person kept their word. What matters is whether they fought when it would have been easier to fold. Whether they stayed faithful to the future they claimed to want. Success doesn't happen in a crowd. It happens in silence. It's what you do when no one claps. It's the discipline you keep when no one validates you. It's the reps you grind out when motivation is gone and all that's left is decision. Decision is everything. Not talent. Not luck. Decision. Decide who you will no longer be. Decide what you will no longer tolerate. Decide to outgrow everything that no longer honors the man or woman you're trying to become. That version of you is not a fantasy. That version of you is real. But it is expensive. And the price is everything you're still holding onto that belongs to your old life. You see, growth is violent. It doesn't gently suggest. It demands. It strips. It burns. It exposes the soft places, the blind spots, the lies you tell yourself to feel okay staying the same. Growth tears down before it builds up. And that's why most people run from it. Because the fire hurts. Because the fire reveals. Because the fire requires you to stop blaming and start becoming. But if you can stand in that fire, if you can let it consume the old parts of you, you don't come out broken. You come out forged. Sharper. Clearer. Stronger. And from that place, reborn, you begin to live not as a reactor, but as a creator. You start speaking with intention. You start choosing your environment instead of being shaped by it. You become precise with your time. You protect your energy like it's sacred. You stop needing to be understood and start becoming undeniable. That's what happens when you say no to the old you. You stop trying to fix what's broken and start building what's better. You stop nursing old wounds and start building new strength. You stop chasing validation and start living by values. And suddenly, the world around you begins to change, not because it's changing, but because you are. You've shifted. You've elevated. You've said, I don't belong there anymore. I've got somewhere greater to be. And that's what this is really about, isn't it? It's not about hustle. It's not about checking boxes. It's about evolution. The evolution of your soul. The evolution of your discipline. The evolution of the quiet war you fight every day to become something more. You're not just building habits, you're building character. You're not just chasing success, you're chasing self-respect. You're not just setting goals, you're creating a standard. A standard that says, I don't flinch when it's hard. I don't run when it's inconvenient. I don't compromise with the version of me that would keep me average. That standard becomes your identity. And that identity becomes your life. Because at the end of the day, you will live the life your standards allow. So raise them. Guard them. Bleed for them if you must. Let the world call it extreme. Let the old friends call it obsessive. Let the old habits scream as you starve them. Let them all go. You don't owe your old life anything. What you do owe is the future. You owe the child in you who dreamed of greatness. You owe the soul in you that knows you were built for more. You owe the world your example, not your excuses. You owe yourself the kind of life that doesn't need to be escaped from. And that life, that future, will never belong to the old you. So today, make the most powerful choice a human being can make. Say no. Say no to compromise. Say no to delay. Say no to weakness, to whining, to waiting. Say no to the small life. Say no to the version of you that's been living on autopilot. Say no to everything that doesn't belong in the next chapter. And then walk away. Walk into the fire. Walk into the work. Walk into the unknown, the uncomfortable, the unfamiliar. And keep walking until one day you look in the mirror and no longer see the person you once were, but the person you decided to become.